Good morning, greetings, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs or sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while it may seem like a miracle to some folks, this renewing system is really just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. We want to help you. 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about our Truth Skin Health products, ingredients, formulations, you can check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. By the way, we have free shipping for the foreseeable future at truthtreatments.com. You can check out longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and you can call 866-735-2470 if you'd rather speak to a real live person. You can sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can also call 866-735-2470 to sign up for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself, and it's an ideal business opportunity for entrepreneurs. And it's just a great way to get your products at the wholesale price if that's all you want to do. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and click on the Join the Team link. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. I just got a email here from somebody, and somebody who knows me pretty well. I mean, I don't know if she knows me personally, whoever this is. It says, time is not real. Physicists show everything happens at the same time. Time is not real. It is a human construct to help us differentiate between now and our perception of the past. An equally astonishing and baffling theory of states. There's so much weirdness out there, people. And we live our lives as if we know what's going on. No, we don't know what's going on. There are certain points of power that we have. There are certain leverage points we have. But our belief systems about how our bodies work and how health works just doesn't serve us. Now you got this whole thing about healthcare. The government is going to give us healthcare. Does anybody believe that we can get healthier with government healthcare? With anything the government promotes? The government is there to promote business, not health. Drug company profits. Not humans, not to alleviate human suffering. They're there to support the health industry's profit margins and profits. We have to take care of our own health personally. That's what nutritional supplementation is about. That's what dietary strategies are about. And that is what beliefs and expectations and conditioning and thoughts are about. It's about saying screw you to the drugs, screw you to government-mandated healthcare or government-defined healthcare, we'll say, because that's what it is. The government is defining healthcare for us. It's setting the bar for healthcare. It's making the standards for healthcare, and we're not healthy. I love it when people say, well, when the doctor said, my blood sugar is just fine. Meanwhile, a person is like 30 pounds overweight, has high blood pressure, cholesterol through the roof. But my blood sugar's fine. I'm not a diabetic. That's because we're going by tests and numbers and scores. You can't determine health that way. You determine health by how you feel. We've allowed the medical model to define what health is and how to get healthy. And that's why we have this pharmacomedical model, this drug model. So anyway, we're talking about how the power of our belief systems, because of the power of the quantum, because of the fundamental nature of the body as quantum, which we didn't really know until 100 years ago. Yeah, there were people talking about mind over matter, and guys like Ralph Waldo Emerson and Walt Whitman and Wallace Wattles and Napoleon Hill, and there were all these guys, these self-help guys that started right around the 1850s, 1860s, and they knew that there was this connection. It's even in the Bible, the connection, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we've known about it, but in the early 1900s, 1920s we started to realize that there was a quantum reason for this. There was a scientific reason for how thoughts connect with our body. Albert Einstein said, as we were talking yesterday, the most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe. And that's this idea that when we see the world as unsafe, our lives will show up as unsafe, and our bodies will show up as unsafe. Unsafe equals disease. And we underestimate the power of thought and the power of emotion, which are both two sides of the same coin, thoughts and emotion, at our own peril. A thought/emotion, a thought emotion, that's what they should call them, thought emotions. Emotions are like the link between thoughts and physical. You got physical, you got emotions, and then you got thoughts. And an emotion is like a cross between a thought and a physical sensation. And that's the key. A thought emotion is linked to the body, and it's linked to the body first at the quantum level, and that's called the Copenhagen interpretation, if you want to look up some physics. So first, a thought emotion affects us at the quantum level, and then at the chemical level via what are called hormones. Peptide hormones specifically. Candace Pert first discovered this. Interestingly, Candace Pert she wrote a book called The Molecules of Emotion, P-E-R-T, Candace Pert. She was a neurobiologist or neurochemist biologist at the National Institute of Health. And in the 1970s, she discovered there were these chemicals that were linked to emotions. They caused emotions, they were caused by emotions, and she called them peptides. And interestingly, Candace Pert, who was a hardcore scientist, as hardcore as it gets, National Institute of Health. She's also in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? And if you haven't seen that movie, and it came out in 2003 or 2004, that is an eye-opener for you millennials out there who may not have heard of it. Most people over the age of 40 or 50 have heard of What the Bleep. It was kind of a big movie back in the early 2000s. Anyway, Candace Pert, What the Bleep is about everything we're talking about here today, the power of the mind over the quantum and ultimately over reality in our bodies. Anyway, Candace Pert is in the movie, and she talks about this whole idea. Thoughts and emotions should be our medicine. It's the best medicine. It's way better than, we talk about let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food, and certainly food is medicine. But thoughts and emotions are the best medicine. We need to start to regard our thoughts and emotions as medical. Pharmaceutical research, when they're looking for drugs, they're looking to discover drugs. The perfect drug is considered a drug that has no toxicity, but has effects, has strong effects, lots of benefits, but zero toxicity. Nutrition is an example of something like this. But with nutrition, you can overdo it. You may not get toxic with nutrition, but you can still overdo it. Thoughts and emotions have zero stress on the body. There's no overdoing good thoughts and good emotions. You can't overdose on good thoughts and good emotions. And when I say good thoughts and good emotions, I'm talking about things that make us feel good. That's basically the parameter, how you feel. That's all you need to know if a thought or an emotion is a good thought or emotion. It's how you feel. You'll know it in your body, how you feel. And you know what the best medicine, the best of all the medicines is laughter. You can't have, all of your symptoms will become less and less relevant to the extent that you laugh about them. When we think something's funny, our blood pressure drops. When we think something's funny, our parasympathetic nervous system, our healing system becomes activated. There's a book called Anatomy of an Illness by a guy named Norman Cousins, who actually cured himself of a deadly disease. He was given just 6 months to live by watching Three Stooges movies, Anatomy of an Illness. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'll look it up during the break. Anyway, we've got a bunch of open lines for you at 844-236-6010. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Back on the bright side, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got lines open, 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. Want to remind you to check out our Truth Skin Health products. Our new products should be up probably the next 2 weeks. Our Collagen Recovery Complex is back up for you guys who are looking for that. We're also looking for estheticians. If you have a spa or salon, you're interested in being purchasing Truth products wholesale and then reselling them. We have a esthetician and actually healthcare professional program. So check out you can check out the products at truthtreatments.com, and you can send an email to support@truthtreatments.com or sales@truthtreatments.com for more information. And then our longevity products, of course, are at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. We've got blogs, blog posts, and news stories and videos on all the sites. I just finished a video. Should be up in the next few days on Critical Health, on all the websites, criticalhealthnews.com. I think it's on brightsideben.com, and then pharmacistben.com. We're going to, the new videos on eczema for you guys who are interested in that subject. There's been a lot of stuff in the news about eczema lately. There's a new drug I saw, a new topical cream for eczema. It's not a steroid cream. It is an anti-inflammatory that knocks out another inflammatory chemical, so it's not a steroid cream. Eucrisa, it's called. Nonetheless, the silliness of shutting down the immune system to take care of eczema never ceases to blow me away. The concept of shutting down the immune system to deal with inflammatory issues. Inflammation's our friend, folks. It's chronic inflammation that's the problem, and chronic inflammation is the end result of chronic attack. So if you have chronic inflammation, you got a chronic attack on the body. And anti-inflammatory strategies, in my humble opinion, are counterproductive for anything more than the very, very, very short run. I'm talking prednisone, I'm talking triamcinolone and beta-methasone. You can tell a steroid by the ONE ending, prednisone, for example, hydrocortisone. ONE refers to a steroid hormone. If you're using a steroid hormone, whether it's topical or internal, you're not helping your health in any way, shape, or form. Do you know there's a rebound condition that people will get after using steroid creams? It's an awful, awful condition where nothing works because you've suppressed the immune system for so long. When you stop your steroid cream, it's called steroid withdrawal. You stop your steroid cream, you get this incredible, hideous skin condition. Not all the time, but sometimes. For some people, they'll get this hideous skin condition that is not treatable. And it's the end result of the immune system rebounding back after being suppressed for a long period of time. That's why they tell you not to, they also tell you not to stop taking your steroid pills, your prednisone pills right away. You got to wean yourself off slowly. The main reason for that is your body stops making its own steroids, and you're going to be steroid free. You're not going to have any steroid hormones for a while after you come off your prednisone, and that's a big problem. So you got to go slowly. If you're on prednisone and you decide you want to get yourself off of it, wean yourself off of it slowly, and always wean yourself off your meds with your doctor so he knows what you're doing. Not that you have to, listen to him. A lot of doctors say, "No, I don't want you doing that." Oh, you don't have to listen to the doctor. You can wean yourself off, but always make sure you're working with your doctor. It's only fair to work with the doctor if you've committed to having a patient-doctor relationship. A doctor-patient relationship. It's only fair that you let your doctor know what you're doing, but that doesn't mean you have to listen to everything he tells you to do. All right, so we're talking about, before we went to break, we're talking about anatomy of an illness. Dr. Norman Cousins was a professor and a medical researcher and a politician and an activist, and I'm not sure what kind of. I think he was a medical professor actually. I'm not sure exactly, but he got diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, which is a really hideous form of arthritis, and he was told that he had 1 in 500 chance to be alive or to live, and he was like, forget that. He had always studied human emotions. That was his field of study, and he was always fascinated with positive emotions and the effects of positive emotions on health. And then ironically, he ended up getting an illness where he got to use some of his ideas, and that's exactly what he did. He took all of his ideas about how the power of human emotions and health, and he watched Marx Brothers movies and candid camera movies. He also gave himself high doses of vitamin C. And he basically practiced the art of laughter. He says, this is a quote from his book, I made the joyous discovery, quote, I made the joyous discovery that 10 minutes of genuine belly laughter had an anesthetic effect that would give me at least 2 hours of pain-free sleep, unquote. And then he says, quote, when the pain-killing effect of the laughter wore off, we would switch on the motion picture projector again, and not infrequently, it would lead to another pain-free interval, unquote. And this is all in his book, Anatomy of an Illness as Perceived by the Patient. Came out in 1979, actually. And when you read this kind of stuff, and by the way, he lived another 26 years. He died in 1990. He was diagnosed in 1964. And so you read these things and you think to yourself, well, geez, this is some powerful stuff. And it is powerful stuff. But for some reason, we don't pay attention to this. I guarantee you, if you don't tell your doctor about Norman Cousins and you just say, will laughter help my pain? Modern doctors maybe, younger doctors will probably buy into that. But, the old medical model would think that was silly. And by the way, later on in Dr. Norman Cousins' life, he had heart disease. And so he started to work on himself for that. He got diagnosed with heart disease in the late 1970s, and he ended up living another 11 years. He finally did succumb to heart failure 26 years after his collagen illness and 36 years after he was first diagnosed with heart disease. That's the power of the mind and the power of thoughts, and it's all because of the quantum. It's all because of the most basic, fundamental place where our bodies and where reality, everything kicks in. It starts with the quantum, it goes to the chemistry, and then it becomes biology. The good news is at the level of the quantum, we can control it through our minds, through mind-body. This is in my opinion, this is the prime lesson of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, which, by the way, is the most reproducible, scientifically useful, accurate understanding of reality that has ever been developed, scientifically. And through our consciousness, we control the pixels. The quantum is the pixels on the screen. And electromagnetics, which is what we started talking about when we started talking about quantum, is the most important forces that work on these pixels and on these dots. Electromagnetics, the electron. It's all about the electron. If you're a scientist and you're obsessed with life, and hopefully if you're a person and you're obsessed with being healthy, you cannot dismiss the primacy of the electron. The electron is where the invisible becomes visible. And it's always there, but we can impact the drift. That's a self-help concept. Impact the drift. We can impact the drift. The electron is the drift. We can impact it with our consciousness. Bruce Lipton says that the electron itself is conscious. Quote, by definition, if an electron responds to something, that would mean the electron was aware of that thing. In other words, it's conscious of that thing. For example, an electron shooting through space will move in a straight line. However, if I place a magnet near the electron, that will alter the electron's path. There's some kind of awareness there, is the concept, which we will continue talking about on our next Brightside episode. We got your calls coming up. Actually, we have an empty board, so anybody who wants to get in can get in right away at 844-236-6010. Okay, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, the longevity products, ingredients, formulations, something you may have heard about, read about, or if you have a comment or success story, 844-236-6010 is our number. Excuse me. If you want to purchase your longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to purchase our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, 844-236-6010. I got a few stories here from the National Academy of Sciences, the proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Study shows dopamine plays a role in musical pleasure. An international team of researchers has found evidence of dopamine in the brain playing a role in the pleasure people feel when they listen to music. In their paper, the group describes experiments they carried out with volunteers who were given either a dopamine precursor or a blocker. And as it turned out, you got more pleasure from music when your dopamine levels were up. We do so many things for dopamine, people. If you can't stop eating ice cream, dopamine. If you can't stop betting on the horses, dopamine. If you can't stop the drugs you're taking, your prescription, your illegal drugs, your opiates, at least partially dopamine. If you can't stop eating the pistachios, dopamine. Dopamine is the biochemical reason why we do everything. They call it a reward chemical, a reward molecule. Pleasure is associated with dopamine. And interestingly, dopamine levels are also associated with a long life. From the Journal of Neurosciences, it's no eternal youth, but worms on a very low-calorie diet produce high levels of certain chemicals, and these chemicals may be keys to longer lives. Guess what those chemicals are? Serotonin and dopamine. That is calorie restriction, which has been known to increase longevity. In fact, it's the only tried and true way of increasing longevity is calorie restriction. That doesn't mean fasting necessarily, although that could be part of it. It means just eating less food. Think about how if we stopped eating and we only ate when we were hungry and we stopped eating the moment we weren't hungry, do you know how little food we would be eating? Try it yourself. Try the next time you're really, really hungry, put a bunch of food in front of your face and eat one bite or two bites, or just eat slowly and kind of check in with yourself after each bite. And you'll notice that after about 3 or 4 bites, you're done. You're full. You don't need any more food. And after that, the 100 bites extra, or whatever it is, 50 bites extra that we eat, that's all extra food. That's all food that we didn't need. And it's one thing to eat it and have to suffer the consequences of the calories and the toxicity, but even worse, we lower our dopamine. We lower our sense of pleasure, our pleasure hormones, and we shorten our lives. So yeah, it's bad enough that we're eating extra food just for our bellies and our weight and our overall health, but really it kills our pleasure. It kills our pleasure chemistry to eat more food. That's the problem with being domesticated. That's why we have to keep eating more and more food to get pleasure. That's why we overeat. We overeat because we're eating for pleasure. We're not eating for food. We're not eating for energy. We're eating for pleasure. So what you want to do is you want to figure out a way to jack up your dopamine without having to eat. That's really the secret to it. Anyway, more dopamine means longer life. A longer life, eating less calories means more dopamine. All right, this is another interesting one that we'll get your calls. We've got a bunch of lines open, 844-236-6010. Energizing the immune system to eat cancer. This is from Nature Immunology. Immune cells called macrophages. Macrophage means big eater. Macro, big, phage, eat. Immune cells called macrophages are supposed to serve and protect, but cancer has found a way to put them to sleep. In other words, when we get cancer, when cancer spreads, it's because our immune system has been put to sleep. Now, they're saying here that the cancer itself puts macrophages to sleep, and that's a possibility. But the point, the take-home message here is you can activate the macrophages. You can activate your immune system to take care of cancer. How? With nutrition, with calorie restriction, with thought power and emotion power, as we talked about earlier, visualization. These are all strategies for activating the inherent mechanisms inside the body that fight cancer. This is how remissions happen. This is why it's so important to understand the concept of spontaneous remissions. There's a really cool book. I've talked about this before. It's somewhat pricey. I think it's like $300 or $200, something like that. But it's a book of case studies of cancer remissions. People who have remitted from cancer. Cancer goes away all the time because the immune system can fight cancer. If cancer is spreading, it's because the immune system is sleeping, has been put to sleep. So what you want to do is you want to activate the immune system with every single strategy we know how, and just simply believing that this is possible. By reading the book of spontaneous remissions, or by studying the literature. It's all over the literature. Spontaneous remissions are a fact. And if one body can do it, anybody can do it. And when you read these studies and you see these case studies and these articles about it, it will change your beliefs about cancer. And once you change your belief about cancer to, oh my gosh, I've got cancer and it's deadly and that's, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it, to my body can fight this thing. my body can take care of this thing. If my strategies are correct, it changes everything. So first, as with always, first comes the belief and then the thought, and then there's plenty of actions that you can do, including calorie restriction, including sugar restriction, including IV nutrition, including visualization, self-hypnosis, hyperbaric oxygen. I mean, so many different ways that you can support your immune system to not just prevent cancer, but even to reverse its spontaneous remission, speaking spontaneous remission-wise. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to the phones and say good morning to Jack in Minnesota. What is up, Jack? How you doing, buddy?
Hi. I've got some problems with rashes, or I don't know what else you'd call them. Several years ago, I developed a little round mark on the leg, and it was kind of flaky, and it's never gone away. And now I've got them coming on my hands, and I've got two marks that have come across my face for 15 months. They've not gone away. And a friend told me they're on a dermazone, but they look like acne, but they're not. They don't go away. Everything I use on them doesn't help. No history of any of this.
Have you ever heard of something called ringworm?
I have.
Does it look like ringworm?
No, I'm a former wrestler. I've seen it. It's not ringworm.
Okay,
No.
but it's circular.
What was on the leg was it's flaky, and I've got a few of those coming on my hands. They're flaky. And they're dry.
It's the flakiness is definitely a clue. The fact that you got these things popping up all over the place, you got the flakiness going on, is a clue. I would guess that you're having a problem with your fats and fat metabolism is what I always think of with skin. The skin's a fatty organ, and the flakiness is definitely a sign. What else is going on with your body?
The only other thing I could mention, I've been really healthy, except for just prior to these things, I had a kidney failure. I had a kidney infection.
Okay.
They had trouble treating it, and eventually they got it. It went away. But
were you on a bunch of antibiotics? Were you on a whole bunch of antibiotics?
Yeah.
And were you on IV antibiotics?
Yeah, in the hospital I was.
Yeah. I would say that's what triggered it. Hang tight. How old are you?
Okay.
How old are you?
Well, now I'm 58.
Okay, hang tight. I'll finish up when we come back from our break. But I would suspect that your problem is secondary to what's called dysbiosis, messing up your gut bacteria, which is definitely something that can happen with the high-powered antibiotics that give you in a hospital. All right, 844-236-6010. Don't go away, Jack. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. Okay, we are back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number, and we do have lots of lines open for you. We're talking to Jack in Minnesota. Jack, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so here's the deal. Whenever you have a skin problem, you don't have a skin problem. It just shows up on the skin, with rare exceptions for topical irritations, those kinds of things, or maybe burns or abrasions, obviously.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's coming from the inside. You want to say something?
No, that's okay. I got that.
Okay, now, did you you typically would have some digestive problems after you had the IV antibiotic, and plus they probably gave you oral antibiotics, I'm sure, as well. And if you had a serious kidney infection that they couldn't treat, they probably gave you some pretty high-powered antibiotics. So it's very unlikely that your digestive system wasn't affected, and it's very unlikely that your skin wouldn't be affected, or that your skin problem is not the end result of that. So what I would be, and this is really important for all skin issues, not just for your particular one, which sounds a little strange, but the fact that the rash is spreading tells me your condition is deteriorating, or at least progressing. But for any kind of skin issues, for skin sensitivities especially, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people who have skin sensitivities. Human skin should never be sensitive. Human skin should never be rashy. Human skin should never be dry. Human skin shouldn't be dry. We have set the bar so low on skin because we think that the skin is cosmetic. And it's just on top of our bodies for appearance, so we look good to our friends and to our neighbors. The skin is a fully fledged organ of the body, and if there's anything going wrong with the skin, rest assured it's going wrong inside the body as well. And even more importantly, the skin is a window to what's happening in your body. So, Jack, while you may think it's superficial, you know, and now it's getting worse, so you're probably getting more concerned, the fact is your body's breaking down. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying that to scare you or anything, but you got to, that's what that's telling you. So if you have a digestive issue that's leading to an immune problem that's showing up on your skin, that means malabsorption of nutrients. That means you're at high risk for other diseases, and that means you're at high risk for accelerated aging. So all of this is good news in the sense that now you have a window into what's happening inside your body, and once you correct it, you'll know you're on the right track. Then the question becomes, how do you correct it? Work on foods. Absolutely, you got to work with foods first. That means a food diary. That means looking for problem foods. I would be pounding fatty nutrients too, by the way. Your fatty nutrients are harder for the body to absorb than watery nutrients. So when the digestive system breaks down, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, zinc, selenium, all of these are going to be you're going to be deficient in all those. And are you on a supplement program, any of the longevity products?
Yeah, I've just started it.
Okay, well, here's what I'd be doing if I were you. First and foremost, I'd be doing the nutrients, just to pound some nutrition, because you're probably missing a lot of stuff. Get 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate a day. Get 400 international units of vitamin E a day. I like the mixed tocopherols and mixed tocotrienols. You probably heard me say that. 20,000 IU of vitamin A day. Vitamin K, maybe 1,000 to a couple thousand micrograms a day, somewhere in there. And then make sure you're getting omega fatty acids. Get on the ultimate EFAs. In fact, get on the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity. I'd be taking 9 of the ultimate EFAs. If you notice, and you may not know that you have, maybe under the radar, digestive health issues, but if you know, you got to correct those. I'd be using probiotics, good bacteria. By the way, there's lots of good bacteria, or probiotics, or whatever you want to call them, on top of your skin, on your skin. So when you take an antibiotic, not only do you disturb the microbiome, the flora, the bacteria inside the body, but you disturb it on the skin too. You guys, you get that? Does that make sense? So when you take antibiotics, not only are you killing the bacteria inside your body, you're killing them on your skin too. So, you know, it's very easy under a condition of a disturbed ecosystem, a disturbed bacterial or microbial ecosystem on top of your skin, for these kinds of rashes to appear. So it could be an overgrowth of a certain rash. It could be an overgrowth of a fungus. All of these are overgrowth of a certain bacteria, overgrowth of a certain fungus. All of these are very likely after a high dose of antibiotics, especially if you're not the kind of guy that's been supplementing a lot. So if you just started supplementing, it's very easy for you to be deficient in a lot of things, and it's very easy for you to have disturbed the very delicate ecosystem of the bacterial flora inside and on top of your body. You got bacteria, by the way, everywhere in the body, in your nose, in your respiratory tract, in your lungs, on your skin, in your gut, and even in your eyeballs and inside your ears. There's microbiome everywhere. We're in a cloud. You know, there's a microbiome in the atmosphere too. There's a bacterial cloud that we all carry with us, a cloud of bacteria, and there's actually a layer of the atmosphere which is filled with these bacteria, which is just a digression there, but it's kind of interesting. Okay. Does that help you, Jack?
Yeah, it does. I'm going to follow this, and I just started listening to you, and I'm listening to all your podcasts. I really like. How did you hear
about us?
There's a local radio station here, a health radio station, and you were on it. And I just started listening to your program, and I really like it. I'm going to get all that and follow it.
I'm glad. I appreciate that. What do you do out there? What do you do for a living in Minnesota?
I'm a commercial driver. Trucks and buses.
And then you were a professional wrestler, did you say, or a high school wrestler?
No, yeah, high school, college.
High school wrestler. All right, cool. All right, good. Well, I'm glad you're getting some good health information. I hope we helped you out, and stay in touch and let us know how you did.
I will do that. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, yeah. God bless. That's what we just talked about is so true. It's not just true about skin issues. It's true about all health issues. Where we see the health problem in the body is not where the problem begins. By the time with rare exceptions, for the most part, when we got a health problem, a health challenge, that's not where the problem began. But that's what we end up treating. And that is why our medical model is such a failure when it comes to dealing with these kinds of chronic, long-term, progressive diseases. Yet, we don't really need the medical model for dealing with chronic, long-term degenerative diseases. If you're on a statin drug, folks, you bought the Kool-Aid. That's just the facts. If you're on a statin drug and you think that's going to help you, and you haven't changed the way you eat, the way you exercise, the way you think, and the way you feel, all the parameters of health and criteria that are associated with having a healthy body, if you haven't changed any of those, you've drank the pharmacomedical model's Kool-Aid. If you watched the State of the Union yesterday, and I didn't watch it, but I hear that Trump said something about healthcare, about changing the healthcare system so everybody can have good healthcare. I know the Democrats are talking about healthcare, healthcare for all. If you really believe that's the way we're going to get healthy, you have swallowed the Kool-Aid whole. You've swallowed the whole pitcher of Kool-Aid. That is the biggest scam going, this idea that through government health care and through pharmacomedical model intervention, we can take care of our health. It's never worked, and it never will work, and it's not working. Yet, we don't need that. We don't need the medical model, not for chronic long-term degenerative diseases. Just reading these prescription statistics, just download it here. Where the heck is this? There are some shocking prescription statistics. 4.2 billion prescriptions written in 2011. I don't know how many there are today. More. 50% of American adults take prescription drugs. 34% are taking at least one. 11.5% are taking 3 or more prescription drugs. 6.5% of Americans are taking 4 or more prescription drugs. This pharmacomedical model of taking care of our chronic degenerative diseases is an utter disaster and a scam and a blight on humanity. And we can do something about it. And that's what this program is all about. And that's what longevity is all about, too. That's what Dr. Wallach is all about. If that sounds good to you, if you're an entrepreneur and that sounds good to you, please check out our website, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com. Love to have you on the Brightside Ben team. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products, all our Truth treatments, our Biomimetic Mineral Mist, and our new Truth Trifecta, and our Collagen Recovery Complex is back up. We've got new products coming out as well. We also have a skin health blog at truthtreatments.com, and we also have a blog at criticalhealthnews.com, pharmacistben.com, and brightsideben.com, because we're dedicated to helping you. We are dedicated to getting you better. We are dedicated to helping you help yourself, because that's really what it's all about. It's been said that knowledge is power. No, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Action is power. You got to take action. We can give you the knowledge, but you got to take the action. And the action isn't that hard, because the human body is designed, it's evolutionarily fine-tuned and refined to be healthy, to maintain its health homeostatically. It's got the health mechanisms built into it. All we have to do is access and leverage it. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.